The research teams in the Kiana system require your assistance. They have been running thousands of temporal incursion simulations of how to use the Krenim weapon. But I need an officer with field experience to evaluate the project and its feasibility. You will participate in a focus test of the most promising options. A blade cuts both ways. We must be sure that what this weapon can do to the Iconians does not cause greater harm to us.
USS Polybius Mission Report. We've spent the past several weeks docked at Starbase 39 Sierra conducting major repairs, but we are urgently needed back in the Kiana system. Final system checks are complete, and we have been granted clearance for immediate departure. Helm, lay in a course. As soon as we're clear of the starbase, take us to warp.
Welcome! We have been working with the Krenim to build both this facility and a weapon similar to the one developed by Anoraks in the 22nd century. Captain Nog is running point for the Alliance, but teams from all across the Alpha and Beta quadrants are involved with the research. It's fascinating work, but there's a lot to do yet. Captain Nog might be able to explain more. He's waiting for you.
Well, I'm here to help. Lead the way. Captain Nog, good to see you again. What do we got?
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make a prototype of the Krenim weapon in Anorax's records, but we have not attempted to use it yet. Time isn't something you mess around with, so we have been conducting simulations here of possible incursions, as well as developing new ways to protect and store data on various timelines.
Various timelines, right. Look, explain it to me one more time. How is this different from going back in time and changing the past to create an alternate timeline?
When we talk about time alteration, we're specifically referring to the Krenim weapon's ability to remove something from time. Anything, from a single molecule to an entire civilization. It's as if the target of the weapon never existed at all.
So the target isn't just destroyed, it's deleted, erased from history.
Correct. The changes ripple out from the incursion point and result in a new reality where the target no longer exists. This does mean that the ship must be able to fire on a target. The details are a bit more complex, of course, but that's the main difference from conventional time travel.
You told me this technology scares you, and I'm starting to understand why. It's almost barbaric. No one has a problem with this?
Temporal agents from all three factions are watching everything we do carefully. That's one of the reasons we're running holodeck simulations first. Between you and me, I'm glad they're here. The Krenim are a little too eager to use the weapon. Time manipulation is a very delicate operation under the best of circumstances. We can't just start shooting things out of existence and hoping it all works out for the best.
I wholeheartedly agree. Is there anything else I should know?
Once we make an incursion, anything not protected by a temporal shield will conform to the new timeline. That includes all of us once this mission is over. We won't remember the Iconians, the war, or anything that changes in the new timeline. Clouda has been leading the work to create a shielded computer core to hold all the data we currently have. A time capsule, I guess you'd call it.
But what you're describing, this time capsule, it would have to be shielded forever, right?
Correct. This isn't the sort of sacrifice we'd expect any personnel involved in the incursion to make. So we've built a computer to retain the information for us. We'll know what happened before, even though it essentially will have happened to someone else.
I see. You know, Sela said something about the Iconians not being able to time travel. Is that important?
Oh, that the Iconians can't time travel because it unravels their minds. She was being dramatic, but she was essentially correct. When most humanoids time travel, they retain the memories of their timeline of origin. So you realize when things have changed. Iconians are at least partially energy beings. You saw that when Matara was able to use her own power to open gateways. And their brain structure is very different from other humanoids. As far as we understand, if an Iconian traveled back in time, their mind and memories would reshape to fit that time, so they would retain no memories of the present. They don't use time travel because it would literally be taking a step backwards.
Huh. So why don't we use this time weapon and simply delete the Iconians?
That was the first simulation we tried. The results were fairly catastrophic.
Catastrophic? What happened?
Without the Iconians, the first development of warp technology by other cultures in the Alpha Quadrant is severely delayed, by about 50,000 years. Removing the Iconians would change everything we know.
Oh, we would eventually develop warp travel though, right? It seems inevitable.
Let me put it this way. In one version, the Day Ones eventually rise to power and conquer most of the Beta Quadrant. They are forced back by the Vulcans, who never embrace logic, and later enslave much of what is now Federation and Klingon space.
I can see how that would be a problem.
I'm not done yet. The Herc never developed warp technology at all, so they never invade Kronos and unite the Klingons as a warrior culture. When the Vulcan Star Empire finds the Klingons in the 22nd century, they were mostly farmers who had made some advances in epic poetry. By the present day in this simulation, the Vulcan Star Empire is locked in a to-the-death struggle with the Dominion.
Okay, I get it. Taking out the Iconians directly is a bad idea, so bring me up to speed. What is your current thinking?
We've tried a different number of scenarios, but only in the holodeck. Direct action against the Iconians is proving to be problematic, because so much time has passed since they were first a great power. Incursions that far back in time must be carefully planned, or the fallout of even minor changes can ripple across reality. We have, however, seen some promise in trying to delay their arrival.
But that's just delaying the inevitable for a few years.
Actually, it would be closer to a 700-year delay if our calculations are correct. The Iconians have had 200,000 years to build their fleets, but we're catching up to them. We've already seen what the 29th century technology can do. Imagine what we'll have in the 32nd century.
So, we'd be on more equal footing.
Exactly. The other potential solution is to cut into their current power base. What if the Iconians never allied with the Alachi or the Solanae? We wouldn't be facing the trouble we do now.
Okay, so what are our best scenarios?
The three most promising incursions each follow one of these tactics. My teams have been running simulations and refining their targets, but I'd like you to assist them using a special quantum recursive algorithm. Our simulators can run the outcome of a possible incursion on the holodeck. Interacting with that simulation will give us more data than just crunching the numbers. We need to really interact with it to see what reality would look like, and for that, I need someone like you with field experience.
Well, I'm still not sure about changing the past, but simulations can't hurt. Right, you're the team leader of Simulation Alpha?
Hello. Please allow me to explain what we're doing here. We've determined that if we remove a specific series of stars from the Beta Quadrant in the distant past, a rogue planet will enter the Iconia system and cause massive geological damage at about the same time the planet was bombarded by the Iconians' enemies. The technological buildup of the orbital bombardment that destroyed the Iconian civilization will still happen, but the Iconians themselves will have to deal with a natural disaster, not a war.
Okay, stupid question, but assuming that works, how is a natural disaster better than a war?
Maybe the survivors of a natural disaster, if there are any, won't be so vengeful, and none of the stars we will remove have planets with the possibility of developing life. The overall effect on the galaxy is minimal. It's a painful path, but it could be the one that leads to peace.
I don't know if I like the idea of removing entire stars. One, maybe.
The number of stars we will have to remove is a concern, which is why we're trying this in a simulation first. But as Captain Nog said, these simulations aren't perfect, so we have devised a holodeck program that will expand and extrapolate on possible effects of the temporal incursion.
Yeah, that's another thing. It feels like we're putting an awful lot of faith in the holodeck.
It's the best option we have available to us. The holodeck's algorithms have been updated to change and adapt to the data created by the simulated timeline alteration. This is not your average holo novel.
Very well. I'm not here to judge your methods. I'm just here to judge the scenarios. Speaking of which, what exactly do you need me to do?
Once we run the program, you'll be able to interact with our best approximation of the new timeline. Interaction with the holodeck components will allow the program to generate a more in-depth solution and give us a better idea of what to expect. We have set this simulation on a Federation starship patrolling the Sol system, and you are the captain. If all goes as planned, we expect that almost everything in the system should be close to current reality.
Understood. I'll go run the program. Computer, run Temporal Incursion Program Alpha. Whoa, what the heck is going on here? This doesn't look anything like current reality. Lieutenant, report. What's happening here?
Captain, you're alive! We repelled the intruders on the bridge, but the ship has taken heavy damage, and a lot of the crew are injured.
What's the situation?
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time. So many people are hurt, and most of the systems are offline. The life support is on backups, and our resources are down to nothing, and
I'll help the wounded, but you need to help me. What happened?
the Dominion stopped firing at us when we lost weapons. Now they're focusing on Earth's defense grid, but it's only a matter of time before they return to finish us off.
Okay, so we stabilize the crew and fight back. This isn't over. Ensign, your injuries don't look too bad. How are you feeling?
Sir, I tried to fight them off, but the boarding parties, the Judgement are. We have to stop the Dominion. They can't take Earth too.
Don't worry, Ensign. We'll stop them.
We can't stop them. Maybe if we hadn't been at war with the Romulans. Maybe if the Klingons hadn't ripped themselves apart. I'll be fine, Captain. Just run.
Try not to worry. Go to sickbay if you have to.
I never expected they would get so far into our defenses. I'm sorry, Captain. I just need a moment. Then I'll be ready to fight.
Whenever you're ready, Ensign.
Incoming hail!
I'm on it. Aw, this console's seen better days, but I think I can open a channel on the main view screen.
USS Ajax. Sensors show your ship is completely defensive, and I would prefer not to delay our arrival at Earth to deal with such a minor annoyance. Surrender now, and I will guarantee the safety of your crew.
Commander, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Your message is breaking up. It was a boring conversation anyway. Computer, status report.
Warning. Hull breaches on decks 4, 5, and 6. Emergency force fields engaged. Hull integrity, 22.8%. Weapons, offline. Shields, offline. Life support. Emergency backups engaged.
Display casualty reports for the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Oh, this can't be right. Betazoid and Tellar Prime are both taken? Vulcan is uninhabitable? Billions dead? How can our calculations be this far off? Computer, play Captain's personal log, most recent entry. Captain Russell Nash, personal log, stardate 87319.0. We haven't seen the bulk of the enemy fleet in 3 days, but their scouts continue to harass us. Vulcan is lost. Andoria is in flames. Romulus, Tellar Prime, Beta Z, Trill, ashes. If the Romulans had joined us, maybe this would have been different. The Klingons barely had enough ships left to patrol their home system. They weren't a threat anymore. We were offering friendship, but the Romulans refused us. And then the Dominion came, and they took everything. Computer, scan for Iconian activity.
Long-range sensors are offline. There is no Iconian activity in the immediate area.
What a mess. Computer, save program and exit.
Sorry, we were watching from the control room, and that could have gone better. Even with all that, the simulation data on whether the Iconians were entirely eliminated from that timeline is inconclusive. We were able to record your interactions, and we've been able to piece together what happened from those.
Yeah, what did you find?
From what we can piece together, the Klingon Empire was never unified by its conflicts against outsiders, and the Great Houses turned on one another instead. The Romulans took the chaos as an opportunity to attack. The Federation stepped in to help the Klingons, and the war between the three factions basically ripped the quadrant apart. The Dominion then conquered all three weakened powers.
This is not our solution.
Agreed. My team will continue working on other possible incursion scenarios.
We'll keep at it. I still have 2 more simulations to run. Maybe we can cut into the Iconians' power base. And you must be Noi. I understand you're one of the big brains behind all this. I'm Captain Russell Nash.
Another one of you Voyagers? I don't know how you can help, but very well. My team is working on scenarios that reduce the Iconian power base. We're attempting to do so by fixing a mistake that Janeway allowed to happen decades ago. We're going to stop the Vaadwaur from being rediscovered. We plan to do this by preventing Voyager from ever coming into contact with underspace. This will prevent them from finding Vaadwaur Prime, and 7 of 9 will never wake the Vaadwaur.
Okay, I don't know why you call me a Voyager. I never served on that ship.
No, but you're all the same. You come to our quadrant, meddle in affairs that don't concern you and that you don't understand, and leave chaos in your wake. Now, you want us to help you alter time. Tell me, does that sound like something someone like you should be doing?
I'm not sure that power should be in your hands either, or anyone else's for that matter.
None of us are going to survive if we don't try to repair the damage you've already done. The goal is to cause a solar flare that will force Voyager to divert from the course it was on when it stumbled into underspace. If it safely passes without entering underspace, it can continue on its trip home and bypass the Vaadwaur entirely.
Oh, interesting. I suppose that could work.
The simulation is set for the USS Voyager, which is fitting since they caused the problem in the first place. Our projections show that even if the Vaadwaur never return, your people will still find a reason to stick your noses into our business. So, we're attempting to see how the elimination of the Vaadwaur will change the formation of the Delta Alliance. You will be a member of the diplomatic team.
Okay, I'll run the simulation.
Don't mind Noi. I think he partially blames people from your quadrant for some of the Krennin's troubles. After all, if Voyager hadn't restored the Vaadwaur, they would have never been in a position to ally with the Iconians.
I understand, and I've dealt with far worse, believe me.
But there is no reason to dwell on past hurts. We're trying to fix what we can here, and then learn to accept the rest. Noi funnels that passion to help his people into his work. Perhaps it will change everything.
I'm Captain Russell Nash. Forgive me, but I don't believe I've met anyone from your species before.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain Nog and Seven speak highly of you. My name is Claudia, and I am a Tutarian. We're from a region of the Delta Quadrant Voyager never visited, so we haven't had much contact with species from the Alpha and Beta quadrants until now. However, my world has had close ties with the Krenim for several years. Now that they are actively pursuing temporal technology, I chose to join them and lend whatever assistance I can. I miss my home, but I've made a new one here. Meeting Noi has opened me up to a world beyond my own.
I see. So, what do you do here?
I was on Kiana Prime with Noi when we received word of the Vaadwaur attacks. We had only hours to get the temporal equipment running and remove the population from the time stream. Since then, the focus of my work has been developing more stable data storage. We can see into other timelines, but we need a way to secure the data through temporal shifts, so we can preserve information about incursions and their effects. In the case of a catastrophic shift, that data could be used as a map to restore the timeline.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure you're very busy. If you'll excuse me. Computer, run Temporal Incursion Program Beta. Ambassador?
This is an absolute disaster. I had thought that Admiral Tuvok was being pessimistic about the chance for success here. But now, I think he was right.
Making an alliance isn't a quick process.
No, it's not. The hierarchy started setting these people against one another before Admiral Tuvok and his team could start to pull them together. The very fact that they all agreed to be in the same room is a minor miracle.
Do you think you can bring them all together?
Eventually. Between Vulcan logic, Klingon tenacity, and Romulan pragmatism, we'll convince everyone here that the threat is real, and an alliance is in their best interest. But it won't be easy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I see I have another argument to break up.
Good luck, Ambassador.
We've always tried to be good neighbors and treat other races with respect, but this is really too much. The Malon are using our system as a dump, and their trash isn't our problem.
The Malon are not the biggest threat to your people right now.
The Malon might not be the biggest threat, but they are the most immediate. Wait until they start dumping their trash in your front yard, and see how you like it.
I can appreciate that. Tell me, what do you think of the hierarchy becoming more aggressive?
The Malon claim the hierarchy are harassing them, but they're targeting our ships too. So I don't know what to believe. But there are rumors, traitor talk, you know how it is. But I've heard it a lot lately. They say the hierarchy are capturing people and selling them to another race for experiments, or as food.
I don't want to talk about the hierarchy. They're nothing but trouble. That's part of the reason we're looking for new dumping grounds. I've lost too many ships in the past year. Half a generation of valuable and desperately needed haulers. They're just gone. And I know the hierarchy is to blame.
That's fine. We don't have to talk about the hierarchy. How about the Talaxians? They're concerned about toxic waste on their borders.
Are you here to preach about responsible waste management too? You can save it. I have a commitment to my people and my planet that supersedes any other concerns.
Fine, but there must be some place you can dump your waste where it won't harm anyone.
How dare you dictate how we should behave? The disposal of hazardous waste is a noble sacrifice my people make on behalf of their families. Who are you to cheapen their sacrifice?
But there are other options, ones that might even be better for your people. Look, I'm here for everyone's best interest, yours and the Talaxians.
But we don't need outsiders telling us what to do. If the Talaxians want to talk, they can come to us directly.
Computer, what is the current political landscape regarding the Malon?
The Malon have resisted attempts to accept less hazardous waste management practices and continue dumping waste throughout the quadrant. The most at-risk populations are the Talaxians, who have a new colony close to Malon dumping grounds. The Malon have moved into Talaxian space to avoid hierarchy attacks.
What do we know about Malon and Talaxian relations?
Diplomatic relations between the Malon and Talaxians are rapidly deteriorating. The Malon have accused the Talaxians of working with the hierarchy, a charge the Talaxians strenuously deny.
Analysis. How can we get them to start negotiating again?
The Benthans could possibly pressure the Malon to return to the negotiation table.
Ah, the Benthans. I wonder if I'm still an official deputy of the Benthan Guard in this timeline. Excuse me, I just have one question.
Yes, what is your question? I am rather busy. The Hazari are stepping up their smuggling operations, and the hierarchy's new drive for profits has created a significant increase in attacks on unaligned transports.
Would the Benthans be willing to assist the Talaxians in their negotiations with the Malon?
We have enough to do at the moment without getting into a dispute that doesn't concern us. The hierarchy is harassing our supply lines, and I'm convinced they're behind the losses we've taken over the past 3 months. We're having to double up patrols. which means we're leaving holes the Hazari can slip through. The Malon are a headache we don't need.
Fair enough. Maybe if I could convince the Hazari to back off, you could...
Good luck with that. The Hazari aren't interested in anything but making deals. This whole meeting is just a waste of time. Unity might work where you come from, but I don't have any reason to cooperate with criminals like the Hazari or thugs like the Hierarchy.
Let me try speaking to the Hazari.
What do you want? Did the Benthans make you one of their little deputies? Or was it the Malon? Before everyone broke ties with the Hierarchy, they told us what people say about us. Mercenaries. Honorless. Ha! They all deny it, but we know. Now we look out for ourselves.
I see. So how do you feel about the Hierarchy?
Troublemakers. They make our jobs harder and easier. They watch everyone. We used to trade for information from them, but now they won't sell. If we can capture one of their ships, it's like a treasure hoard of information. Makes hunting bounties real easy. But it's harder to take out their ships. I hear they're getting upgrades. And it's not just their ships. Stories going around about one captain whose arm was ripped off by a Hierarchy commander. Used to be they'd run from fights. Now they start them.
Well, that doesn't sound like the Hierarchy I know. Listen, if we could resolve just a few minor disagreements, we'd be one step closer to securing the galaxy against a much larger threat. Would you be willing to pull out of Benthan space? At least for now. Call it a temporary ceasefire.
No. We need to make a living, same as the rest of you. If the Benthans would take out the Hierarchy on our borders, we wouldn't be forced to move into Benthan space. But no, they won't do that. They don't think mercenaries rate protection.
Sounds like you should be working with the Benthans, not against them. But where I come from, we have an expression. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Maybe we can convince the Benthans that helping you is in their own best interest.
Fine. Run back to the Benthans. I'll be here if you want to talk business.
Admiral, perhaps if we could demonstrate our willingness to compromise, we could convince everyone to... Oh, wait. Wait a minute. I guess the meeting's over.
Unraveling this mess could take months, years.
You're the right man for the job, Ambassador. Computer, report tactical analysis for this quadrant.
The number of planets the Hierarchy have taken outright has increased 20% over the past 6 months. A push for higher profits has prompted steady growth of Hierarchy territory. Reports of abductions in areas near Hierarchy space have increased by 77.2%. However, this data has not been confirmed by outside sources because few Delta Quadrant species are willing to share information with the Federation. Further investigation is needed.
Play most recent ship's logs.
Ambassador's log, stardate 87234.5. Our allies in the Kiana system have been invaded by Hierarchy forces. The Kiana colony is a small farming community with no strategic value, so the attack simply doesn't make sense. According to one survivor we managed to find, the Hierarchy were working with the Ilachi. The Ilachi took captives to an unknown location.
Access long-range sensors and scan for Iconian activity. Oh hell, there's Iconians all over the galaxy. All 4 quadrants, including Hierarchy space. Wonderful. Computer, save program and exit. Simulation complete. It seems like with the Vodwar out of the picture, the Iconians found new allies in the Hierarchy.
Damn, that was useless. The Iconians were so determined to have a hold here that they simply found another species to fit the bill. Maybe if you had been a better negotiator, you would have been able to unite those representatives against the Hierarchy. Then, at least we would have had a chance.
Maybe, maybe not. There was a lot of Iconian activity.
This scenario isn't as catastrophic as trying to remove the Iconians, but it's not exactly ideal either. We'll have to try something else.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work. But hey, I still have one more scenario to run. Maybe third time's the charm.
You must excuse my husband's harsh demeanor. This has been a very trying time for the Krenim. Thank you for helping us get this far. We'll keep working.
Trust my wife to be the voice of reason. Perhaps I was too hard on you. I just want to be able to fix all of this. We can't turn back time, but we can change it. Please speak to Gamma Team. Captain Nog thinks very highly of their plan.
Right, back to work then.